Hey y'all, Cutie here, and today we are going to do something a little different on the channel that I'm really excited to do. I'm going to be bringing Draft League content onto the channel. Now, this is something I've wanted to do for a while. I just haven't really found the confidence in my ability to compete as a Draft League player until recently in order to do so. But I think I'm finally ready to start doing something like this, and we'll see how it goes. If it's shitty content, oh well, but I'm going to give it a shot. So what we're going to do today is a post-draft analysis of what I drafted. This draft is for the Elite Champions Association, or ECA for short. This league has been running for 4 seasons now. We're now entering season 5. And the way it works is that everything gets tiered into 4 different tiers. There's A tier, B tier, C tier, and D tier. And basically each person gets 3 A tier picks, 3 B tier picks, 3 A tier, 3 B tier, 3 C tier, 2 D tier, and then 1 wild card that can be either B tier, C tier, or D tier. So that's how that works. And then on top of it, each person gets to draft, or not draft, they get to pick 3 of the Pokemon they drafted and declare them as their Z captains, which means that these are going to be the only 3 Pokemon that are allowed to use Z moves. And I actually realized I didn't mark that on my team, so I'm going to mark that now before I forget. So I know Tornadus is 1. Raikou is 1. And Venomoth is 1. Okay, that's for my own reference. Cool. So what I'm going to do is just go through and kind of talk about why I picked each Pokemon for my draft, what I think it's going to contribute to the team. I might not go too in-depth on each one. I just kind of want to talk a little bit about what my thought process was as I was going through the draft. And at the end I might talk about some of the strengths of my draft, some of the weaknesses of my draft. And yeah, I think it'll be cool. So starting off, my very first pick, well, also the other thing about the draft is that there were 2 orders. There was 1 order for the first 6 picks and another for the last 6 picks. And I had like 12th and 13th for each one respectively. So I didn't have great picks. It was snake order, so it helped, but it wasn't great. So for my first pick overall, I took Tornadus-T. And my reason for this is I know it's not the strongest round 1 pick there is. I know were better picks available. I'm pretty sure Magearna didn't go until like 2nd round. I picked Tornadus-T out of comfort. This is a Pokemon that I've used in Draft League before and that I've done well with. This thing carried me through Season 1 of the ECA. I had it Season 2 as well. I think I had Torn Eye, maybe, if at least 1, if not both seasons of Season 3 and 4. So I'm familiar with this Pokemon, its move pool, and what it can do. My personal favorite set to run is Life Orb, U-Turn, Regenerator. I just think those 3 go really well together. But Tornadus has such great versatility. It can be run mixed. It has so many options. It can be run as a defogger. I don't believe it gets Roost, which is a little bit of a setback. But other than that, its only other real flaw is Hurricane's accuracy, which is going to be an uphill battle because I'm not the luckiest person in the world. But we're going to work with it. I think it'll go well. Knockoff, Superpower. I've run Focus Blast in the past too in certain situations, and it's worked very well. And the thing about Tornadus-T is that there are so many items you can run with it. You can run Choice Scarf, Choice Specs. You could run Assault Vest, Life Orb. You could run Leftovers would be iffy. You could in the right situation. I think it's Tailwind too, I believe. Tailwind, Agility, Taunt. There's so many options with Torn-T. You can run it as utility. You can run it as a full-out attacker. Hurricane hits like a truck. Acrobatics shouldn't be slept on either. And with the Z Crystal, I think my thought process there was with making it one of my Z captains was giving it the ability to expand on its versatility. Now I have access to a hard-hitting dark type move, a hard-hitting psychic type move, a hard-hitting fighting type move, hard-hitting, I don't know how much Bloom Dune off of Grass Knot would do, but you get the point. It just opens up so many more options for me, or if I want to make a flying type move hit even harder than I already would for a certain Pokemon, I have that option. So I think that's huge to have all those options for Tornadus-T. I think being able to bring the right study tweak is going to be a huge part in my success, but I think my prior experience with it will help me a lot there. Next up, I took Infernape. Also, I have nicknames for everything. I have reasons for them. I might not explain them all. I think there was some symbolic meaning in Eternity when I named it Season 1. I just stuck with it. Infernape, he looks like he's going to rip your ass apart. That's why he's named Ass Ripper. Infernape, I kind of drafted for the same reason as Tornadus-T. It's comfort to me. It's not like I haven't used it as much as Torn-T, but I still have used it a fair amount. And I love all the options. Usually I end up running a fighting type move, a fire type move, U-turn, and then like Earthquake in the end. But there's options in acrobatics, there's options in, I think it's Stone Edge. Gunk Shot is huge. It gets priority as well in Mach Punch and Vacuum Wave. You can pick which attack stat you use. Shadow Claw is situational, Thunder Punch is situational. But the big thing with it is having that Iron Fist to boost like Mach Punch or Thunder Punch, stuff like that. So I'm really excited to have Infernape on the team to give me that super offensive fire type that just fits that role on the team. I think any team needs a good fire type and a good fighting type, and having both those in Infernape is going to be huge for me. And Infernape's hard to prep for because you don't know what it's going to bring. You could run utility on this thing. You could run Stealth Rocks, Swords Dance. You could run, yeah, Swords Dance as a setup move. Yeah, there's so many options with it. I really like it. I hope that it'll do me as well in this season as it did me the last time I used it. My next pick, I know I have Dugtrio here, but I actually, for round 3, went ahead to make my first B tier pick, and then I came back to Dugtrio. So we're going to go to Raikou first. I picked up Raikou for 2 reasons. One, I believe every team in draft format needs a fast electric type, and Raikou fits that role very well. And 2, I think Raikou in B tier is a steal. I was arguing for this thing to be A tier because of how much versatility it gets in Aura Sphere, Shadow Ball, Extrasensory, plus its electric type moves and a hidden power, Signal Beam. But in addition, the thing gets Calm Mind, which elevates its abilities to the next level. And again, this is a mon where I slap the Z Crystal on because I want to be able to work with those options. I want to be able to run a Z Shadow Ball or a Z, I don't think it's Psychic, but Extrasensory. Z Extrasensory could come in clutch against like a Mega Venusaur or something. I think that'll be really good for me to have. Another big thing that I focused on early on, as you can tell, is my speed tiers. I try to get fast mons. Unfortunately, my first 4 mons are the fastest ones I have, and my speed tiers just drop from there. But we'll talk about that later on. We do not want Sticky Web. Raikou's ability is a bit of a letdown. Pressure can help in a stall situation, but you're not going to stall much with Raikou. And Inner Focus just doesn't do much unless you're fighting a Jirachi or something. I don't know. But yeah, being able to have that fast electric pivot with Volt Switch is just a huge advantage to have, and I couldn't imagine having a draft without a fast electric type that can fill that role. So my next pick, I went back to A tier and took Dugtrio. And I knew I wanted Dugtrio from the beginning of the draft. Actually, my first 4 picks I didn't get sniped at all. I was kind of debating between like Garchomp, Excadrill, and Dugtrio. They were all A tier, but Garchomp and Excadrill both got taken. And I was kind of leaning towards Dugtrio anyway, so it wasn't really that big of a deal. I took Dugtrio because, again, this is something I've used before, and I know it can do well. This ability right here, Arena Trap, huge. It was banned from OU for a reason, but we allow it here because it's easier to prep for when you know it's coming, than in OU when it's just, oh, suddenly you're trapped. But it's huge because, like I said, every draft needs a fast electric type user. Dugtrio counters fast electric type users. Run Focus Sash, Arena Trap, Earthquake. An electric type takes you out, you switch in Dugtrio, and you get a free kill. You got a Rock type, Steel type, that can't take a hit. Dugtrio does the job. Sucker Punch on this thing is also huge, as is Stone Edge. Two very good offensive moves, because a lot of times Dugtrio suffers from 4-move syndrome in the sense where you don't need all 4 of its move slots because it just comes in and does its job really quickly. But having options, like you can have Earthquake and Sucker Punch, and then you take out something with Earthquake, they go into something that outspeeds Dugtrio, you click Sucker Punch, get a little bit of damage before you go. It's great. Stealth Rock is also useful. I personally don't use Stealth Rock a lot on Dugtrio, but I have before. But yeah, again, Choice Band Dugtrio is nothing to laugh at either. I just think its ability to come in and trap is going to be a really important part of my gameplay each week. So it was this point in the draft where I realized that I was lacking in bulk. And I also wanted a viable Stealth Rock user. I know that Dugtrio and Infernape can both use Stealth Rock, but I wanted a bulkier Stealth Rock setter. So I picked up Metagross for my second B tier pick. Metagross is something that I've never used before, so I'm really excited to try it out. I have used Mega Metagross, but I've never used a regular. And I think with a regular, having the ability to open up this item slot is going to be a big deal. The one issue with Metagross is that its speed is not great. It does get priority in Bullet Punch, which is helpful, but it's meant to be that attack taker. For the sake of my team, I want it to be a bulkier mon. I want it to be able to come in, take a hit, set up rocks, or use a Bullet Punch, or do what it needs to do, and get the job done. I know it gets dual screens as well, which is huge. My issue with it is that it does not get reliable recovery. I could run Rest Sleep Talk on it, but I'm not a big fan of that set. So it's going to be something I have to work around for sure. But what I did do was pick up a bulkier mon with recovery in my Lodic. And I took, by the way, Meg is short for Megatron, if you guys didn't get that. Metagross is more defensive. Melodic is more specially defensive. So I kind of took one in each category. Now my Lodic is going to act as my bulky water type for this draft. I have... usually my Lodic runs either Hydro Pump or Scald. I think Scald is more common. The other 3 moves are just up to whatever. I've seen Haze before, I've seen Dragon Tail, I've seen Recover's a must bring. Toxic is common. Yeah, it doesn't. There's not a lot of options with it. It gets run as a bulky mon that can come in, take hits, and heal, and then wear you down. But that's what I need on my draft. I need something to do that because I don't have anything yet that can do that. So at this point in the draft, that's why I scooped up my Lodic. My Lodic is another mon that I've never used before, but I'm excited to try it out. And then moving on to the second half of my draft, I think I don't remember what the order was here. So I'm just going to go in the order here. I know the order down here. I think I picked Venomoth before Donphan, but I'm going to go with Donphan first anyways. I picked up Donphan because I just wanted another bulky Stealth Rock setter. Oh, and I wanted a Rapid Spinner really badly. I have a hard time with drafts where I don't have a Rapid Spinner, and I didn't have one yet, and Donphan was still available as my wild card, so I was like, cool, I'll take it. I don't mind having double ground types because Dugtrio is more of a, come in, get the job done, and leave kind of thing, whereas Donphan is going to be more relied on for its type and its bulk. And it can hit hard too, it has options. It can run Earthquake, I know it gets Play Rough, Stone Edge is there, Ice Shard is huge, Knockoff. Is it Gunk Shot? It does get Gunk Shot. That's cool. Gyro Ball is there as well. It can run an Assault Vest set very well, or it can run a Stealth Rocks Rapid Spin set with another move or two. But yeah, again, being able to pick between Donphan and Metagross each week as my Stealth Rock setter will really help me find an advantage over my opponent. I've used Donphan before. It's been a while, though, so I'm excited to pick it back up and use it again. Venomoth is my first C-tier pick. I had Venomoth last season, and I picked it last season on a whim. It was there, and someone suggested it to me, and I was like, sure, why not? And I actually really enjoyed using it. I love Quiver Dance users very much. I've had Volcarona before on my team. I've used Vivillon in the past as well, not in Draft League, but in other things. And Quiver Dance is such a good move, and having that boost with Tinted Lens is also a big deal. This thing can run Quiver Dance. It can run Bug Buzz. I know it's Energy Ball and Giga Drain. Giga Drain's probably gonna be more common. Sludge Bomb is there, I believe. And Sleep Powder. Tailwind is an option. I don't see myself running U-Turn on it. Roost is there too. It just has options for the type of setup sweeper you use it for. I don't really see myself using it outside of a setup sweeper, to be honest with you, but you never know. It could come up. And then I made this a Z move user because if you can set up and then pull something out of your back pocket that you wouldn't use otherwise, like a Z Giga Drain, that can be a huge table turner, if that's a term. So I'm really excited to have Venomoth on the squad again, hoping it can do as much as it did for me last season. Spiritomb was a pick that I wasn't so sure about. I really wanted Delmise, and I really wanted Umbreon. Those were both C tier, and they got taken before I got to them, which was very unfortunate for me. Because I wanted that bulk in a Dark and Ghost type. I think I actually got Donphan sniped for me, Delmise sniped for me before I picked Donphan, because I wanted Delmise in my Rapid Spinner, but it worked out this way. Spiritomb I've used once before. It was in an off-season. I didn't use it much. I'm not very familiar with it. I know it can take a couple of hits. I know it can run a Calm Mindset. I know it can do Rest Sleep Talk. Will-O-Wisp is there too. Otherwise, not a lot of options. I know Memento is there, situationally. It suffers from the lack of speed, but otherwise it can take a hit or two. They can deal back a hit or two, and that's what I needed to do. I think a Dark type is essential on any Draft League team because of its ability to come in on Prankster Mons as well as Psychic type moves, and this was kind of my way to make up for that in not getting Umbreon. I really wanted Umbreon, but it's okay. Spiritomb will have to do the job. And Smitty is for Smitty, Werbin, Jaegerman, Jensen. If you don't get it, get out. Next I took Granbull as a D tier. Actually, Granbull should be down here. I took Granbull next because I don't have a Fairy yet. I don't have an Intimidate user yet. And I've used Granbull before and I love it. I think being able to come in, lower the opponent's attack, and having this defense stat, or it's not a great defense stat, but it can definitely take a hit or two, especially when the opponent has lost a stage in attack. And then being able to dish back a Play Rough or Earthquake or Fire Punch, Ice Punch. I think it's all the elemental punches. Okay, maybe not Thunder Punch. Oh, it does get Thunder Punch. Stone Edge. It has a lot of options. It's underrated. Also, another reason I wanted it was this move right here, Heal Bell. I don't have any other way to remove status, I don't think. Yeah, nothing else gets around with therapy. So yeah, Heal Bell on Granbull is my only way to remove status, which is another reason I wanted it. So I have that option as well. Yeah, so I think having Granbull as a Fairy type is a good option for me. Oh, Close Combat too. I forgot about that. Close Combat is good. Granbull suffers from a low speed, like a lot of my team. That's gonna have to be something that I just deal with. It's whatever. And then next I picked Mega Abomasnow as my Mega. I really wanted Mega Glalie, and I knew this since like midway through the draft, and I waited and I waited because I didn't think anyone was going to take it. No one has ever drafted Mega Glalie in the UCA before. And lo and behold, the pick before I'm planning on taking it. Same guy who took both Excadrill and Garchomp takes Mega Glalie. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. Mega Abomasnow is not bad. I wanted Glalie for its speed, because I knew at this point I needed better speed tiers than I have. I know I have a few great ones in A tier and in Raikou, but other than that, my speed tiers are not great. And I was hoping to get Mega Glalie to kind of help with that. I know base 100 is not amazing, but it can do the job. Didn't get it, so I settled for the slow Mega Abomasnow. Now, a Mega Abomasnow is not bad. It's another one I've never used before. I wanted it because I needed an Ice type on my team. It can hit hard. Look at the stats. It has base 132 in both attack stats. It can run mixed because I know it gets Focus Blast, I know it gets Earthquake, I know it gets physical and special grass type moves. Ice Shard is huge. Blizzard is great because it gets that snow warning up, so that hits really hard. You just have to be careful not to let it go down early from a fire type move because it's so damn slow. But I think if I play right, it'll work out. It's just something I've never used before. I'm hoping it goes well. And then finally, I picked up Alolan Executor as my final pick in D tier. I wanted this for two reasons. One, it's a Dragon type. I don't have a Dragon type on my team. And two, there was an event in Gen 3 that allows Execute to have the move Wish, which means that when you evolve it in Alola, you get an Alolan Executor with Wish. You cannot run, I believe, Harvest with Wish, because it was a Gen 3 event and Harvest wasn't a thing till Gen 5 on Executor. I'd have to run Frisk with it, but I have nothing else on my team that gets Wish. And Alolan Executor isn't the most ideal thing to use it, but at least I have it in a worst case scenario where I really, really, really needed to heal something like Donphan or Metagross, which are Pokemons that don't have recovery. But that being said, this thing can do a lot. I actually learned after I drafted it that it gets Flamethrower. I don't know why the hell this gets Flamethrower, but it does. I don't know why Sticky Web keeps coming up either. I don't know why it gets Flamethrower, but it does. And it has a lot of options for both physical and special moves in both Grass and Dragon. It has fighting options. It has Earthquake. Other than that element, I don't know a ton about it. I know Outrage is great. It can heal itself if I don't want to run Wish. And it gets Trick Room. Trick Room could also be something that I pull out once in a while just because my team isn't the fastest. It might hurt my upper tier picks, but if I can run it correctly, I might consider it 1 week. We'll see. But yeah, overall, my draft, and I know my teams are a mess here. You can kind of see them here. I'll actually move to the bottom. So the bottom two are my team. This is actually my plan for the league. So these bottom two make up my team for draft. Again, my biggest issue, in my opinion, is my lack of speed, as well as my lack of a Wish Passer. I think having only Alolan Executor as a limited Wish Passer is a bit crippling, considering some of my bulkier mons don't have recovery, aside from Resto Chesto. I wouldn't even run Chesto, just Rest and Sleep Talk. But this is something I can maybe make up for later on. There is free agency, there is trade starting week 3 of this league. And yeah, my other issue that I find is, well, I have a couple issues. Another issue is my lack of experience with some of these mons. I really gotta try them out, like Metagross and Mega Abomasnow and Spiritomb and Alolan Executor. I just have never used before. I want to get to know their capabilities a little bit better before I start battling with them. And my other issue is with status healing. My only way to heal status is through Granbull's Heal Bell. And a set that I like to run on Granbull is Assault Vest, and I can't do that with Heal Bell. So it's just limiting. But again, it's not that big of a deal. Overall, these are the only issues I have with my draft. I'm very happy with it. I wish I had a bit of a better dark type or a bulkier dark type than Spirit Tomb. But overall, I'm happy with what I have. I think I'll be able to make the most of it, and I'm excited for the season to start. As for matches, I have not decided if I'm going to upload match commentary on the channel. I might record it live, I might record the replay and commentate. I really don't know yet. It just depends on what I want to do when the time comes. But you can expect that in the future. Again, this league will go into my school semester. We'll see if I'm able to be consistent with it. But I'm going to try really hard to upload, and I'm really excited for what this season of the ECA will bring. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you next time.